Hey there. So one of the questions that I end up asking people quite early on in eating disorder recovery coaching is about what you feel you're giving up if you choose to get well from your eating disorder. And time and again, people will mention that word control. They'll bring up the fact that by having their eating disorder, maintaining their eating disorder, they feel they've got a sense of control in the world. So that's kind of a literal concept, that they feel they've got a control about what they're eating, what they're putting in their mouths, what they're putting in their body, the food that they're preparing. But also it's just a sense that they have got control on the world, control on the universe. And it's not true of everybody that goes through an eating disorder, but for an awful lot of people in the eating disorder community, you will find that people have, for whatever reason, fallen into an eating disorder because the eating disorder has given them the sense of being able to get a handle on something in the world, perhaps at a time when everything else was very difficult. That might have been because they found the kind of period of adolescence and puberty very difficult, and yet they could control food restriction. It might have been when going to university, not being able to control those emotions around homesickness, about being overwhelmed by looking after yourself and being in an alien place. But food restriction or food behaviours gave a sense of control about the environment at that time in their life. It may have been in adult life during relationships, marriage breakdowns, having a child. And again, an eating disorder might come in as a control mechanism because everything else felt very challenging and very difficult to cope with. So I raise this point just to say that you really need to reiterate to yourself time and again in eating disorder recovery that the eating disorder gives you no control. It robs you of everything else you would be capable of controlling in your world. By maintaining your eating disorder, you lose control of everything else. You have to get that through. So you lose control of the ability to have sensible and highly functioning relationships with partners or parents or children. You lose the ability to be able to control your work environment, your vocational abilities, your educational attainment. You lose control of that because the eating disorder is controlling you. You lose the ability to be socially spontaneous because your eating disorder is controlling your habits, your rituals, your behaviours, your timings. You lose the ability to have a strong and healthy physical body that enables you to do the kind of sport and the pastimes that you might want to do because your eating disorder is controlling how capable your body is physically, either is or is not. You lose the ability to go and enjoy nice holidays and see parts of the world if we could ever get out of lockdown. You lose the ability, you lose the control out of forming the pleasure in your life by having your eating disorder. If you want to be able to gain control back over your world, you have to let go of the control that is being maintained by your eating disorder. For all the time an eating disorder exists in your world, you have no control over today and no control over the future. If you really, truly care about control, let go of your eating disorder. By letting go of your illness, you gain all the control that you are foolishly telling yourself that this disease is giving you. I hope that helps.